Incidents relating to the transfusion of blood continue to occur across the NHS and the Trust. Since 1996, Serious Hazards of Transfusion, SHOT, the UK Transfusion Incident Reporting Scheme, has reported over 6,500 occurrences. Of these, almost 40% relate to the transfusion of wrong blood, i.e. blood for one patient given to another patient. Over 600 patients have died or have developed serious long-term medical conditions despite most organisations having a blood transfusion policy in place. The main area identified is that of misidentification of the patient, either at the blood sampling or the blood administration stage. This section of the film highlights your responsibilities relating to blood transfusion.
Decision to transfuse blood is usually made by a doctor, looking at all sorts of things such as the patient's obviously blood counts and their general condition, and obviously how urgently they want to transfuse them as well is made by the doctor.
So I need to see an armband. I've just got that, superb. It's got your name on it and some information that I need to check. Yeah. So if I ask you some questions, if you don't understand them, just ask back and I'll repeat them. Has he given you a little booklet to read?
Yeah, I've put it in my locker. I'll read it later. Is that okay?
Will you make sure you read it? It's got some really important...
Well, pre-collection procedures are that obviously they need to make sure that the blood's actually being prescribed by the doctor and that all the necessary checks, such as whether they've got a cannula in place and whether the patient is aware that they're going to have a transfusion, that all needs to be done before they actually come down and collect the blood from the laboratory.
It's a PEC group ending in 498.
The samples, when they're taking samples for transfusion, should always be labelled at the bedside, never at the nurse's station.
Check blood unit for clots.
Yeah, we did that.
And it involves all sorts of checking of particularly patient identity on all sorts of documentation. But the sort of crucial part of the check is to actually ask the patient who they are and to get the information back from them, so their name and their date of birth should be got from the patient as much as possible. Obviously, if the patient's unconscious or confused, that's difficult. But things like the ID band should have the correct information on. The luggage label that's attached to the blood pack needs to have the correct information on, and the paperwork that comes with the blood as well, and the prescription chart, etc. And it is etc. There are lots and lots of paperwork involved there.
Okay. And you know you've another one coming after it.
I do.
They do need to have 3 sets of observations done. One as a baseline, in other words, just at the start or a little while before the start of the transfusion. Another set done at 15 minutes into the transfusion, and another set done at the end of the transfusion of that particular
We'll sign this and send it back to PathLab.
The doctor seeks consent. The nursing staff are also asked to check that consent has been given before they actually transfuse the blood.
Right. If you get any odd feelings, if you feel that you are feeling a little bit short of breath or you feel like you're getting hot, please call
SHOT stands for Serious Hazards of Transfusion. It's a UK-wide reporting system for transfusion incidents. It doesn't just cover transfusion reactions, but covers the whole transfusion process. And each year SHOT issue an annual report of incidents that have happened throughout the UK and give recommendations for improving transfusion practice.
The National Patient Safety Agency issued an alert in 2006 in an attempt to reduce the number of serious adverse incidents arising due to blood transfusion. Its aim was to ensure healthcare providers conducted a series of competency-based assessments of all their relevant staff. These assessments must be regularly updated. Since its implementation, the number of serious reactions and death has decreased. It is your responsibility to be aware of the policy requirements.